Whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. Hold up. I said certified freak 7 days a week. Wet ass P-word. Make that pullout game weak. Yeah, you effin' with some wet ass P-word. P-word is female genitalia. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass P-word. Give me everything you got for this wet ass P-word. Beat it up, N-word. Catch a charge. Extra large and extra hard. Put this P-word right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. Hop on top, I want to ride. I do a Kegel while it's inside. Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes. This P-word is wet, come take a dive.
And here we go.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will bow down before me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies. We're Nerd is a New Bully. I'm your host Leroy, aka the Filthy Casual, with my co-host.
This is Eli, the teenage witch.
Okay, yeah, and we're back with another episode. And Eli, we're in August right now in the hell year of 2020.
It's hot out.
It's hot, and actually it was like water, like raining everywhere in like the South, like Texas to Mississippi to Louisiana. Everybody was raining right now. So
hot and wet.
Oh, feel like it's transition. We'll get to it in a second. Funny thing about it, I feel like the world is coming, America is like trying to find as much normalcy as possible. Because here's the funny thing, Eli. This week, some old co-workers that I haven't seen about 4 or 5 months actually came back now.
Oh yeah,
they've been on leave and furlough and all this shit like that. So now they're slowly coming back. But like I said, it's been 4 or 5 months, stuff like that. So you're looking at them, and I'm like, hey, man. Can't remember your name, because they hadn't seen him for so long.
I thought you were going to mention the fire tornado, but okay, yeah.
The what? The who? No, this is a comic podcast. We got to talk about that.
You didn't hear about the fire tornado?
I haven't heard nothing about a fire tornado.
Oh, in California, I guess there's forest fires in because there's always forest fires in California, and heavy winds created a funnel cloud of fire, so it was a fire tornado.
Well, why haven't I heard about it? Is 2020 so weird that this just like normal shit is like, just fuck it, it's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah. Just when you thought it was 2020 was safe.
Right.
Fire tornadoes.
Fire tornadoes. Just another Tuesday. So oh man. So yeah, let's actually jump into the podcast. You know what, Eli? We always start the podcast with some bad news. Can we finally do some good news this time?
Sure.
Okay,
so good news?
Relatively speaking,
right.
I'll let you judge whether or not it's good news or not. So yeah, I want to say congratulations to Chris Pratt and Catherine Schwarzenegger. Let me see if I can get a picture of them now, because they just had a baby. So the reason I want to give them credit, because I guess let's look at some kind of Inception or 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon thing going on right now. So basically, Star-Lord gave the Terminator a grandbaby.
I guess.
Yeah. Okay. And she's a Kennedy. So, whatever the baby's going to be. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, some feel-good news. Some feel-good news for today.
So we talk about she'll be president, or at least on Congress someday.
Right, because even though Demolition Man predicted Arnold Schwarzenegger would be president, which, he would, of course, had to amend some rules before he could do that. He can't be there, but I guess the baby can. So,
yeah.
That's
he was governor.
Right, he was governor. Yeah. And honestly, Eli, I think the only thing that fucked up the Demolition Man timeline from Arnold Schwarzenegger being president, not because he's not an American citizen, only because of this scandal with the maid.
Oh,
if one for the scandal with the maid, we would have amended the rule. He would have ran for president. We were like, wait, you can't run for president. You're like, well, what if we amend the rules? We're like, okay. I think that would have did it.
They will for him.
Right, for him. It's just for him. Because he's the Terminator. Why not? Yeah. Oh man. So so what other news we got going on? We got another move before we lighten up, because like I said, we're gonna get some other shit going on too. I know we weren't gonna talk about this Cardi B bullshit, but we kind of got to.
Would you say karate what?
not Karate Kid. No, stay on top
Oh,
of
Cardi.
Yeah, Cardi
Oh.
B. Because the reason we're gonna talk about, like, we didn't talk about it last week, and there was this big thing going on, and everybody's going crazy about it. But the funniest thing I saw this week was this guy, Ben Shapiro.
Oh yeah.
The funny, and I don't know if anybody has seen what's going on with it. It's the funniest shit I've seen on the internet in a while. First of all, let's look at this guy's face again. Eli, this guy has a very punchable face.
Oh,
I mean, let's be honest with it. He look like the type of guy that should be running this type of podcast. Not whatever the fuck he's doing, So basically what Ben Shapiro did, I mean, he had a problem with the song, stuff like that. Like I said, and then one thing about this Cardi B WAP song that's going on right now, it's like a lot of think pieces are coming out on social media right now. People are for it, against it, women, but whatever. The funny thing about it, he's going to rehearse the lyrics or recite the lyrics online and basically rehearse them in the most robotic, rhythmless, soulless, mayonnaise, vanilla way you can possibly do it. And just like, dude, are you trying to make fun of the song or are you making fun of yourself? I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, and then on top of that, he's going to say, and for anybody to have wet ass pussy like this, you must have some kind of clinical problem because my wife doesn't have a problem like that. I'm like, of course your wife didn't have a problem like that. Look at you. Of course you would. So apparently his wife didn't have WAP. She must have DAP, because she's married to him. So whatever.
Yeah, because he ain't doing shit. He's busy jerking off to ebony porn though.
Right. He hates it,
And then come back and bitch about morals and shit.
Right. I saw this clip. What wear this shit? I saw this post on Twitter, but I had to see this. Gonna say this is him looking at listening to Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion looking like Smithers on Simpsons. But yeah.
He fapped to that shit. All these dudes bitching about it and bitching about, oh, it's porn and blah blah blah. Y'all fucking fapped it, or at least right after watching it, you went to Pornhub and fapped for something similar. Because I saw the video, it was I went to Pornhub and watched the shit that I wanted to see, because they ain't showing enough. They're being stingy with their asses and not showing what I want to see.
I mean, they're not porn stars. They're rappers.
They're rappers. They don't have to do porn. That's why they make these shitty songs, so they don't have to do porn.
Right. But if you go to the strip club, this is what's going to be danced to.
They're going to be dancing to this shit.
They're going to be dancing to this shit. So,
oh, yeah. Yeah.
So it's a whole money making thing right now.
Yeah. The booty meat's going to be flying. That, when this song hits on, the strippers know that they're going to make bank and they're going to put in the work and the dudes are going to love it. So, shut the fuck up, everybody.
And here's the thing, like people saying, like, people getting bent out of shade over this song right now, that WAP. Now, Eli, when we were growing up, we had songs like OPP.
Baby Got Back.
Baby Got Back. Like OPP, like the song means other people's pussy and other people's penises. Like, go back, listen to the song. They let that shit get away on the radio.
Ice-T, let's get butt naked and fuck. Come on.
Wait, that wasn't on the radio.
It wasn't on the radio, but
I remember that song on the radio.
But still, we heard it and shit, Two Live Crew,
Like, yeah, but they got banned. So
yeah, but we still heard it, we had that shit, and that was just rap. I mean,
right. There's all kinds of stuff going out there. So this is just another drop in the bucket. Something to come out even more brazen than this. So yeah, we'll go from there. All right. So Eli, you saw a movie.
I did.
Yeah. And we briefly talked about it last week. And hit the thing, Eli, that brief talk we did actually did numbers.
Okay.
Even though I kind of got some shit for it, but we're not going to go there,
Oh, really?
But yeah, we're not going to go. Yeah.
So you get the I should check the inbox because I figured,
Well, some of this shit was in my personal inbox. So,
okay. I should,
but actually for you, because people go to my personal inbox thinking you're in my inbox too. So they will message you saying shit like Eli's not here.
Eli, you dick, what the fuck? Like,
yeah. So basically, we have a movie that you got a chance to see it. I go ahead and let you review it, and you know what? We're gonna go back to this. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna talk about the tax collector review. You can go with that.
All right, yeah, The Tax Collector, the movie with Shia LaBeouf, who plays a hitman for this Mexican drug cartel, and he's basically the sidekick to the other guy, and I forget that other guy's name, but I guess he's a star that I never heard of.
I mean, who's the main person of the movie?
The other guy.
Okay, so they advertise Shia LaBeouf doing all the crazy shit, and he's not even the main guy.
Shia LaBeouf is just the fucking his homie, you know, and they work for a Mexican drug cartel. They're gangsters. It's a gangster movie, you know, and they go around taxing all the gangs in town and shit, and then some other gangster comes in and wants to take over the territory, and it sparks this war, and you have a bunch of shooting and blood, and it's a gangster movie, you know. And Shia LaBeouf is he's like a hitman, the cleaner or whatever. He does like, you know, he's like the cleaner or whatever. I forget what his name is, but
the
Creeper.
Creeper.
Yeah, his name is the Creeper. That's his name.
You know why I know that? Because it's tattooed on his fucking chest now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You know, and it's directed by David Ayer, who, like we said, directed Suicide Squad and, you know, wrote Training Day and all that stuff. And you know what? I thought it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. I was entertained. I enjoyed. If you like gangster movies, this is it. If you're into Scarface, if you're into, Dead Presidents or Menace to Society, King of New York, all that stuff. If this is right up your alley, you know.
Okay. I'm kind of hit or miss on David Ayer, you know, about his. Sometimes he make good movies, sometimes he doesn't. You know.
I like this better than Suicide Squad.
That's not saying, but wait till the Ayer cut. Wait till the Ayer cut to say this game.
I liked it better than Brightburn or whatever, the Will Smith orc movie. I liked it
which
better
was
than
Training
that.
Day with orcs.
With orcs, you know.
Yeah.
His movies are fine. What's that movie with Keanu Reeves that he did?
Like a million of them.
He was in he directed a movie where he was the dirty cop that goes around investigating the murder of the other cop. It's good. I actually enjoyed that. It was also based on a James Ellroy novel too. Was it Street Kings or something like that? I thought that was cool, and David Ayer made that. You know, End of Watch.
He did
fine. Yeah. What's that other Schwarzenegger movie where they were the SWAT team? They robbed the cartel and shit. It came out a few years ago. That was all right. He makes perfectly serviceable crime action flicks. You know, and this is right up there. You know, it's not as good as Training Day, but he didn't direct Training Day.
He didn't direct Training Day, right?
Yeah.
So he.
Yeah, Anton Fuqua, and he's a good director.
Right, a good director, right? That's the thing.
Yeah, he wrote Training Day, so this is fine. This is fine. It's a gangster flick. It gets violent. It's get bloody. Shia LaBeouf, I have a hard time being intimidated by him. I think they should have got Danny Trejo instead.
Well, I think they had to get a white guy for the movie.
But you know what? Chicks dig him. This is put the chicks in the seat or make chicks want to watch it because I hear a bunch of chicks saying that Shia LaBeouf looks hot in this. So,
what? Really? So wait, that's how crazy 2020 is now that Shia LaBeouf is all of a sudden turned to a sex symbol?
Yeah.
Like move out the way. Jason Momoa, Shia LaBeouf is sexiest man alive. Okay.
Once they see him with no shirt on and the goatee with the tattoo, and then they hear him speaking with that East LA accent, panties be dropping and shit.
Just drop the meteor on us right now. Just be done with it. We've heard it all now. Eli, we got viewers and everybody. How's everybody doing? We actually got listeners now. Hold up.
Let's we got people in the house. Yeah, what's up?
Let's go to the callers. Perfectly. All right, Gabe, what's going on? Gabe is our fact checker. Anytime we say some stupid shit we don't know what we're talking about, he will be quickly to correct us.
And he's perfectly right. This movie is perfectly all right. You know, it's nothing great, but
no, you're not allowed to have an internet opinion that is perfectly all right. This is binary, ones and zeros. It is the greatest movie ever, Eli, or is it the worst movie ever?
It's the greatest movie ever. Fuck it.
Okay, there we go. There is no gray area on the internet.
Yeah.
You can't argue over it's all right, you know. Oh man. All right. So the next topic I would do is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but since we actually have viewers this time, I don't want to lose them. So we're gonna move past that. So
what happened? Did they come back from time? Come back
See?
from time.
Okay. Since you asked, let's just lose all those viewers. Fuck it. Let's just lose all those viewers. Fuck it. Let's
You
go.
got 30 seconds. 30
Okay,
seconds
30
review.
seconds.
Go.
Okay, time's going. Okay, before we start, if I see the viewer meter start going down, it's time to get off Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So basically going on with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they did go back to the regular time. Everybody had a happy ending. Fitzsimmons had a kid. Sorry, spoilers. They set up something. Daisy and her time to play sister that was in an alternate timeline came back in time with her, and now they're in space. And people are all over Twitter talking about they're gonna do an Agents of Sword spinoff. Agents of Sword spinoff. They're not. No, they're not. This is done. This is it. You won't see these guys anymore. I promise you, Kevin Feige does not watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He does not watch this show. He does not care. He doesn't. If he does do Agents of Sword series, it will not be with Daisy Johnson on it.
Wasn't Joss Whedon like a producer on this shit?
No, it was Chad Whedon.
Oh, okay. His brother.
Right.
And Loeb, wasn't Loeb, Jeff Loeb?
Jeff Loeb was over this. Jeff Loeb was actually over this show, right? And he had heavy input like around season 3 when it came from the top that we want to make the Inhumans thing. And all of a sudden, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Inhumans just run around left and right. That was Loeb. He's gone. This show is gone. Everything Loeb. And Loeb was over the Netflix shows also. They're all gone. This is it. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was the last thing that they had before the new guard takes over. So this is it. After this, you're going to get nothing but WandaVision and Falcon and Bucky and whatever else from there. So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is done. Am I 30 seconds up yet?
I think so.
Well, we are losing viewers, but I'm going to just hurry this up here because I want to just give a quick review of what I think about the entire Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series since it's done, since wrap up. What do I think about the whole all series? Do I recommend the series? Now, I will say this. If you are going to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and expecting to be some kind of MCU companion or MCU, guide to flesh out the rest of the universe, it's not that. It failed completely on all levels for that. It is not that. And even trying to do that actually made for some shitty episodes. So when people say they fell off on the first season, that's why they fell off on the first season, because the first season sucked, because every time they turned around, all they did was just clean up after the Avengers missions. Thor the Dark World. Oh, we're just going to go and just clean up what happened in Thor the Dark World. Iron Man 3 is going to clean up after Iron Man 3. Hey, look, Tony Stark was just here yesterday. He never shows up, So, but the moment that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. around like season 3 or season 4, look, fuck the MCU. Let's just do our own thing. Let's just create our own stories. Let's just flesh out the story how we want to. The show got significantly better. And the thing is, since they couldn't deal with the MCU, what they did is dig into the Marvel universe, start digging into Marvel universe. It's like Absorbing Man showed up as one of the villains on the show. The Darkhold, which is actually from the Doctor Strange comics, was one of the big things in season 4.
Yeah, the Ghost Rider was shown.
Ghost Rider was in it. And I thought Ghost Rider was going to take over the show, something like that. He wasn't, because they were dealing with some magic shit. Ghost Rider was like, hey, I know magic. Let's team up. So it's basically like a Marvel team up. Like that season, that's basically what it was. Graviton, Graviton was one of the most powerful Marvel universe of villains that never get uses. Was one of the, I think, season 5 big bad, something like that. So they did. It was a bunch of Mr. Hyde showed up. They went to some alternate universe where Hydra took over. It was some weird shit they did that Deathlock was in there. So
I remember Deathlock was.
Yeah,
I was watching.
Right. So basically what they did, they touched shit that the MCU either don't have time for or don't care to touch. They dug in there, went in there, and they said, hell, I even heard from the notes that they were going to do MODOK if they got a season 8, but they never got a chance to. So fuck it, So overall, it is a good series. It is a fun series. It gets a lot better in the later seasons than it does in the early seasons once they figure out what they're trying to do with the show. When the first show started, they didn't know what kind of show they were trying to make, but it came there. Okay, I'm done with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I know we lost all our viewers. Hopefully they'll come back, but I doubt it. So Eli, can we get into the bad, but can we get into the meat of what we came here to do?
Sure.
Okay, so we watched a TV show. And okay, listeners, you can all come back now. I'm done with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're gonna talk about something you care about now, maybe. So we watched the TV show, and the TV show we talked about, we saw was Lovecraft Country. I know a lot of people saying Lovecraft County. No, learn to read. Is Lovecraft Country. And what this show is about. Eli, I'm gonna let you take over because I don't know what the fuck the show is about. I will say I did watch it, but I don't know what the fuck I was watching. I will say this: the intro got me when I saw this big tentacle monster, and the dude dreamed up Jackie Robinson with the Louisville Slugger beating the shit out of tentacle monster. What I think was an alien Jamie Chung.
That was Cthulhu, man.
That was Cthulhu. Now I gotta watch it again because I watched this shit. I was like, I don't know what the fuck going on. Yes, but I'm into it.
Jackie Robinson kills Cthulhu with the baseball bat in the first minute or 5 minutes of the show.
Alien shit is draped over the hero, and I'm just like, I don't know what this weird shit is, but give me more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's go to the callers before I let you because.
Oh, good looking out, Gabe. He's with us. He's riding with us.
Okay, Gabe, I know you saw it too. Let's see what we got here. What you guys cool for the long haul to the end of the ride. For the end of the ride, right? Through Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, through any bullshit reviews we do. All right. So Eli, I'm gonna let you take over. You know what? Before we jump into that, because I know you were the Lovecraftian person here.
I'm all right with them, but you
are the expert here. You are the expert.
This
is your thing. But before we go into this, I want to talk about this because this is brief, but Aunjanue Ellis is one of the actresses on the show, and I didn't know that. And I do want to say that because I had an interaction with Aunjanue Ellis about, 12 years ago, something like that. Anyway, when I used to make deliveries back in Jackson, she's from Macomb, Mississippi. She called the store, said she needed a TV delivered to her on Christmas Eve. She needed a TV delivered to her because she was going to meet her family in Macomb, Mississippi, because she just came from Hollywood. She's doing that movie, Jamie Foxx, Ray. She's in town just for a time. She needs somebody to help her out. I went from Jackson all the way to Macomb, met her. She was cool. She tipped me. We had a conversation. I was like, you think Jamie Foxx can win the Oscar? She was like, yeah, it sounds like a good run. We have a conversation about Hollywood and shit like that, And then went on my way. She went on her way. Jamie Foxx won the Oscar like next month, something like that. Cool people. So anything she's in, I'm down for it. I'm so,
Okay, now I'm not that much of an expert because I don't know who she is and who she plays.
Oh, okay. She was like barely in it, but still, but she was the mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Maybe I should have prefaced who she was in it. Have you ever seen Undercover Brother?
Yes, a long time ago.
Girl. She was Sister Girl. So,
okay. That was
Anyway, like I said, H.P. Lovecraft is your baby, so I'm gonna let you deal with what we got going on.
I know of H.P. Lovecraft. Yes, I'm not much of an expert. I can't go into details. I've read some of his stories, but I'm not like I'm not an H.P. Lovecraft expert. So disclaimer.
Now, Eli, we canceled H.P. Lovecraft this year.
Wait, really? Just this year?
Just this year. He's been around for a while, but he's canceled now.
Yeah, I mean, I knew of, okay, H.P. Lovecraft. Let's just get this out of the way.
Yeah.
Yes, H.P. Lovecraft was a racist asshole. He was a rich, aristocratic white dude living in Massachusetts, like in a mansion and shit, literary scholar. And he wrote horror stories and weird science stories and got them published. He was in the pulp magazines. Mm-hmm. And he wrote, he influenced a lot of horror and sci-fi.
Right. That's what I want to talk about right now. Like, why are we talking about this show on a comic book podcast? Because all of this shit he's made influenced comic books. Like all these weird ass monster shit like that. Like you can just pick up any comic book and anytime you see like a big ass monster like that, that's an influence from him. Yeah.
Other dimensions, other worlds, demons coming from, other, like from hell and possessing you and all that stuff like that.
Especially like the early 1950s and 60s comics like that. All up, especially since when you really get deep in there, one of the main places they're going to is called Arkham or something.
Yeah, that was that was in that's where Dr. Herbert West, the Reanimator, that's where he lived, and that's where he taught.
You're going deep that way. Is Reanimator in this, or is it like a Wes Craven movie?
They mentioned Reanimator in the show.
Okay, because they're like throwing me. I'm like, you throwing too much shit at me right now.
Yeah, and I
throwing too much shit at me on this show.
Yes.
People.
And I gotta remember that you don't watch horror flicks. So Reanimator is one of the best horror flicks of all time.
It is Wes Craven, right?
I just watched. No, that was Stuart Gordon, who directed a bunch of Lovecraft adaptions, including Castle Freak, which also got a fucking shout out in the show when they mentioned The Outsider or whatever, when he pulled up the book The Outsider by H.P. Lovecraft or whatever.
Start reading it. Reading like the side of it.
Yeah,
and stuff.
and they actually mention how Lovecraft was a racist.
Right.
Yeah,
and I think Eli, because like I said, since H.P. Lovecraft is canceled, all this stuff that he did do for the genre, for fantasy, for sci-fi, for comics, for movies, anything like that, it's kind of getting overshadowed because I think people are getting stuck on that he's racist. When back then, everybody was racist.
Well, they still are.
Well, they still are. But I'm just saying, like hardcore, birth of a nation racist, like Tarzan. Tarzan was raised in the jungle by some black people / apes and shit like that. Oh, the guy that made Tarzan was racist? Cancel him too. Yeah, you're just not figuring that shit out. Yes, every story back then was racist. So it kind of some shit you just kind of got to just go with. I'm not defending him. I'm not defending him at all. But I'm saying let's not, miss the forest for the trees.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is Lovecraft wrote about. He was obsessed with ancient civilizations because this was at the turn of the century. 1900s, when cities were being built, the Industrial Revolution, we were building a new modern civilization. And he was interested, he wrote about the things that existed before the cities, those ancient peoples and races that and the gods that they worship. And that's what he based the Cthulhu mythos on, that, essentially all these people, these ancient races that existed before the cities and modern civilization, they were worshiping all these monsters and demons and shit. And who existed before the cities? People of color.
Right.
So that's in a lot of his stories, the people of color, voodoo cults, tribes in Africa. My favorite is the delinquent Eskimos. Yes, that's a quote. The delinquent Eskimos that were chanting to the sea.
That's his strong point, huh?
Yeah, chanting to the sea, trying to raise the elder gods and stuff. So basically, people of color and their religions, they were all in cahoots to these elder gods, these monsters and demons that he wrote about. So, so that's who H.P. Lovecraft was. Now there's this show produced by Jordan Peele, starring a bunch of black
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, and J.J. Abrams, but it stars a bunch of black folk, and they're tackling those Lovecraft myths, and they're sort of dissecting them. And, the show, this first episode, let's get into this. So basically what happens, this dude, what's his name? Atticus. He comes from, he's an ex-World War II veteran. He fought in World War II. He comes back because his dad went missing.
Right.
And
so he came back home, right?
And him and his uncle and this hot chick, what's her face?
Johnny Smollett, Black Canary.
Black Canary. They go on this road trip through Jim Crow era South United States during the 1950s to look for his missing dad. And it just so happens that this guy, Atticus, he's a big sci-fi fan. He loves sci-fi stories.
I think his dad raised him on sci-fi.
Yeah,
on Lovecraft. Like they have Lovecraft books. Yeah. Yeah,
he was raised on the pulp magazines, the sci-fi novels. His little his little cousins writing a comic book and shit.
And I think the name of the comic was like Panther Man or something.
Panther Man, and yeah. So he's a nerd. This guy's a nerd.
And they said that growing up, like he was a nerd, he was smart, geeky, stuff like that.
Had glasses and shit, didn't talk to people, and then he comes back from the war all buff and ripped and shit.
Right, all abs and shit, you know.
Yeah, so basically that's what they're looking for, their missing father, and he was on some weird, he was uncovering some weird, strange occurrences that were relating to the Lovecraft mythos, So this first episode is basically them taking a road trip from Chicago, which was segregated at the time, but not as, I guess, a bit more enlightened than the South, because then they go into those sundown towns.
Right.
And they start really, where segregation was like by law. And so that's what they're doing. They're going through the South looking for their dad.
Right. For anybody that don't know, we're talking about sundown towns. If you've seen the Green Book, that's what that was about. It went out.
So I I thought this was dope. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, you like that beginning dream sequence with Jackie Robinson killing Cthulhu with the bat was dope. I thought it got a little slow at times because they were establishing relationships and family. And
I thought that too. It was a slow burn. It was a slow burn.
But then the ending, bam! The ending was dope. When they get,
the ending was dope. It got me. Like I said, I feel the same way you was. It had like a slow burn in the middle, and I was trying to feel like where are we going with this? I mean, they opened this up with this crazy ass opening with Jackie Robinson killing a monster, and then it's just developing relationships, and he's meeting everybody, and you got the hot chick flirting with the buff nerd and shit. You're like, that's cool, but that's not what I came here for. But then when they start going to the sundown towns, and they met that racist ass sheriff. And that's when it started feeling. You start feeling the tension there. And I'm like, oh, so this is the horror movie they're trying to make, because that was a horror element where you're going to the deep south and all these, racist ass rednecks. They are the monster. That's what I'm thinking where they're going at first.
Yeah, and
that thing was tense.
Yeah, and I think they were just trying to establish the time, the setting. I think they took a little bit too long establishing the setting. Yes, we get it. It's during the 50s. It's before civil rights, during a time in the country when, MAGA people want to bring back.
Right.
But, to colored folks, to black people traveling around, it wasn't safe.
It was a horror movie, basically.
It was, yeah. I thought, the James Baldwin, which I keep thinking about that because as a horror fan, I get what they're doing. They were trying to, there's a scene where they're traveling. It's a montage. They're traveling from Chicago, from the north. They're going deeper into the south. They're starting to experience more racist towns, people, the little nerdy motherfucker, making monkey faces at them and shit. They start experiencing more outright racism as they get deeper into the south.
Right.
And then there's that during that scene, there's that James Baldwin quote or narration. He's narrating. It's him speaking. And he's talking about perspective and reality and people of color's reality. Now, I thought that was very interesting, but as a fan of movies and horror, I was like, it would have been cooler if it had just a straight up horror musical score.
Right.
Emphasize
or something like that.
Yeah, to emphasize the terror that they're going through as they're traveling towards the south. Because then that's more ominous and terrifying versus James Baldwin sort of telling us how to feel about it.
Right. And that's my whole thing. Like I said, because you keep telling me I'm supposed to be watching a horror movie, until like the last 40 minutes of it, I wasn't watching a horror movie. But if they would have did what you said do, bring in, maybe a jump scare, maybe the horror, the ominous violins and shit like in Get Out was all through that. Maybe I would have felt like I was watching a horror movie, but I didn't feel like that until they really got deep to that sundown town and they met that sheriff and it was like, okay, now we're in a horror movie.
Yeah, when they pass by that billboard sign that just says N-words, don't get caught in our town after sundown or whatever.
Right.
That's a billboard, and I'm like, holy shit, that's just a billboard on the side of a highway. Like that was okay,
Right.
So,
and you see signs and stuff, all kind of stuff,
that was the real life horror that was more disturbing,
That's the Jordan Peele right there.
Yeah, yeah. Or like when we watched Tales from the Hood, and all the monster shit is fine and dandy, but when we saw the photos of the KKK and all the shit that they were doing, that's real life horror. That's more disturbing, And I think that's why the James Baldwin sequence I find interesting, because he does bring up the fact of the reality of what people of color are going through.
Right. Versus white people reality.
Yeah, because we've talked about this on the podcast before. The default perspective, white Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, Judeo-Christian way of thinking is the default perspective in America and most of the world. That's just how they think. They bask in their comfort of that the cops are friendly, that that this is a free country. They should be able to do whatever they want. Cops are.
That's why we're having a problem with the mask right now.
Yeah, cops are going to keep them safe. The military is always going to protect them from outside threats. That's just how they think, and anything that challenges that makes them uncomfortable. So that's their perspective. That's what that perspective rules the country. But for people of color, we live in a different perspective. We live in a different reality. That is not that, because
anytime you walk into a place, you got to be careful because somebody might think you might be stealing something. You got to be careful what you're watching. You talk to police, you got to talk a certain way. All of these things. You got a code switch when you walk into a certain place. These are things you have to think about at all time. Like it's almost a reflex. Instant.
Yes, we live in a reality. People of color live in a reality where we have to deal with racism and bigotry all the time. That's just
like so much that we just deal with it.
That's just our lives. That's just how we are.
Normalize it, right?
That's our reality. That's our perspective. And it's 2020, and people don't think there's a problem still.
Right.
Like they still their reality is so dominant in their way of thinking that they don't even want to admit that racism exists, that that this is a free country. Well, step in my shoes and see how free it really is.
Right.
So that was interesting. I thought, putting that into context where the characters were going from the emancipated northern of Chicago
and getting deeper and deeper,
going deeper into the South, where like the uncle, when they go into that segregated diner, and he's like, laws have been changed, we should be able to do what we want, and he's like, you're in the South, motherfucker. They don't do shit.
Right. They made me thinking like, okay, do y'all know where y'all are right now? You just can't just go in and just say this crazy shit you're saying.
Yeah, and then I thought it was hilarious when she's like, get the fuck out, we gotta leave, mother. When he's calling the cop.
I understood. It seemed like she's the only one that understood the danger they were in. The other ones seemed like they were so, even though it's supposed to be smart, they're so stupid they didn't realize that in the South just saying this crazy shit, like they won't send people after them.
Yeah, and I thought it was hilarious when the uncle grabbed a handful of mints right before he left.
Right.
He just grabbed mints and took off. But like that led to the ending for when they met that sheriff. Which was so like, then it got to real terror. Because here they were, they're like, oh, if you get caught in the sundown after dark, I can hang you. I have a legal right to hang you. You got 7 minutes to get across the county lines.
Right. And you can't speed.
You can't speed. If you speed, I'm gonna pull you over. So there they are obeying every law, doing everything that they're supposed to do. And they still got busted and caught, and we're still about to get lynched.
Right. Because they just made up some bullshit rule about how they can get killed. Oh, you robbed somebody, whatever. You stole his car, Yeah.
That these people of color are not free. They obeyed every law. They did what you were told. They weren't resisting arrest. They were speaking very politely. They obeyed the speed limit, and you were still going to hang them.
Right.
That's the reality that we live in, And then when the monsters show up, it's so cathartic because that was great.
And now that's when it went to like 0 to 100, like in like 5 seconds. I was like, what the fuck? What the hell is going on?
Yeah. What do they call the Shugroth or whatever? I guess they're actual Cthulhu.
Sure. Let's
H.P. Lovecraft monsters from his.
I knew it was a H.P. Lovecraft monster, but like I said, I haven't read them, so I figured it was from that. So,
but that I love that. And they the cops and the black people are getting attacked by these monsters. They run through the woods. They find a cabin in the woods.
Which has got to be from a Lovecraft story or something like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. He wrote about the rednecks, poor white folks were. He looked down on them too. Underclass, poor folk.
Right.
The Dunwich Horror was about a redneck family, inbred redneck family, raising some demon and shit.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, they find a cabin in the woods, which is totally cliche in the horror genre, but it totally works for this story because it not only reminds me of Evil Dead, which is like my favorite horror flick of all time, but
right, because it was about cabin in the woods.
Yeah. But it also reminded me of what's going. It was a total allegory of what's going on right now.
Now, here's my thing. I wish that scene right there was longer. With them trapped in the woods, because they feel like, okay, now we have something. Now we have these racist ass cops and these black people trapped together with these monsters at nighttime trying to get, like they could. It seemed like that scene ended way too quickly.
Yeah, that could have been a whole episode to me.
That could have been a whole episode, or at least half of the episode.
Yeah.
Give me half the episode. I'd be like, okay, we're here. Let's go.
But I like that it wasn't like they didn't like go the cliched like, oh, the racist cop turns out that the black people are okay, and he has.
Right, I'm so glad. Right,
I'm so glad they didn't do that because, like I said, the cabin, like that whole scene, kind of reminded me what's going on right now in the world. Like they were quarantined in this cabin, and there's this outside threat, the monsters, which could be COVID. And here they are, and the cops still are assholes. They're still racist. They're still stuck in that way of thinking of, oh, I'm in charge here. You got to do what I say. I got the guns. I got the right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Still boss people around, say, no, you can't do that. Yeah.
The black guy was about to go run and get the car, and he's like, oh, no, you're not. You're going to turn on us.
Right. You're the smart one. Right.
Yeah, you're the smart, like still threatened by the black guy. So they send the black girl out to go do it. So even though they're racist and we're about to kill these people, they were expecting them to help them. Just because of who they are and their status. They're so comfortable in their status. And that just totally embodied of what's going on right now.
Haven't even realized that, okay, the rules have changed.
Yeah.
There are monsters outside, right?
Yeah. There's this outside threat that's after all of us, and you're going to be an asshole and take charge and boss everybody around because you got a gun or you're in charge, because whatever your authority, the badge or whatever, that, like I said, that perspective, you're the white guy in charge. That means you rule. And you're going to dictate what's going on.
Every other movie we've seen, that's what happens.
Yeah, that's a callback to the original Night of the Living Dead.
Right.
Where the black guy challenges the social hierarchy.
But let's go to the call. Let's go to the call. Let's see what we got. What you got for me, Gabe? They accepted status quo. They did. Yeah. They had to. I mean, that's the way the world was. So yeah, overall, gotta rate it. What do you rate the episode?
I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. It wasn't perfect, but it was a good start, and I'm on board. I'm totally on board. I'm watching this.
Okay. What I think about it so far, I liked it. It got me at the first part. It like really grabbed me. I'm like, oh, we're into something now. Then it kind of slowed down. I think the slow part's a little bit too slow. I think it had a little bit too much build up for it. Towards the end, it started ramping up a little bit, where you started getting like the racist cops, and you start realizing like that is the horror movie element. That's the horror element right there with the racist cops.
Yeah.
And it built tension. And then from there, it just cranked up to 60. And that would really start getting horror with them. You start having these Lovecraftian monsters pop out of nowhere, just attacking everything in sight they could. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm into it. So the thing is, overall, how I feel about this show is that towards the end was a lot stronger for me than the middle, because the middle I was like, I don't know about this show. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I guess it just depends. Yeah, I guess it just depends on what direction they take this show. That's all. So I'll watch the second episode just to see, and I think the second episode will let me know whether or not I'm on board for everything.
Well, yeah, the dream sequence grabs us right away because Cthulhu getting killed by Jackie Robinson.
Right.
That's symbolism right there.
Right. First off, Lovecraft would be rolling in his grave.
Yeah.
With that.
Like a black guy with a baseball bat takes out one of the elder gods.
Right.
But that's the message of the show. Like, colored folks are coming back. I mean, Jackie Robinson, who is he? You know what I mean? He was the first black baseball player. He shook the fucking, he shook the cage and made waves, and him killing Cthulhu. That's basically what's happening. This is a horror version of.
What he's known for, breaking the color barrier. That's what he's known for. So,
and here he was killing Cthulhu.
Right.
One of the main monsters, the main mythologies of this aristocratic, rich white guy, bigot.
All right. So Let's get to it. Okay, so I guess we're gonna just jump into some slow comic book news, but I guess we got to because it's like what we're supposed to do. Yeah, let's talk about this DC Comics shit going on right now because some big shit went on with DC Comics, and basically going on with DC Comics right now is that they laid off what I'm hearing, like as far as their exec, they laid off a bunch of people. I don't know who all they laid off, but a bunch of people are gone. A bunch of executives are gone right now. And the main thing, the hardest division that got hit so far is DC Universe. Like a lot of people that was in charge of DC Universe got laid off. A lot of people from the Black Label from DC got laid off, and that was actually making money. You know, we could talk about this a long time. Like so we've been actually, you know what, Eli, we've been talking about this since like March, February, something like that. Ever since AT&T took over DC, and honestly, with the way we were talking, we were thinking things were going to be even worse than what they are now. You know, they're laid off, but at least they're still, you know, they're still making comics. They're still in business. But we were thinking like they were just going to shut the doors, sell this shit, just be done with it, and that's it. I still feel like that when AT&T came in, they still don't get the comics. Like they get the superheroes, they get the business, they get the franchise, but they don't get the comics side of it. I think they're all on board on one thing. They're on board on HBO Max, and it's all they care about. And if it's not dedicated towards HBO Max, you're basically expendable. I think that's what AT&T feels about right now. So, like I said, we got this thing going on. And what happens every time DC fucks up? What do? They bring out Jim Lee. Now, I'm gonna say something for a second. This is a cool ass picture of Jim Lee. I love how they do it. Look what he's leaning on.
Yeah,
the 89 Batmobile, right? With the Batman coat of owls. That may be like a video game, is a comic, is a movie. What is it? We don't know. Anyway, Jim Lee look cool as shit right here, smoothing things over. Made a press statement, basically saying that basically made a press statement about DC Universe. Now, we've been talking this for like the last 4 or 5 months, especially Gabe, who has been always talking about how DC Universe is going under, DC Universe is going down, is going to be destroyed, it's a waste of time. Jim Lee sort of kind of made a point about what's going on with DC Universe. Basically, DC Universe is not going under. They're going to keep DC Universe, but there will be some changes. So what the changes will be is that all of the original programming, like, you know, Titans and Doom Patrol and Stargirl and shit like that, all is going to HBO Max. We don't know when that's going, but it's going probably before the end of the year. But he did say that they will keep DC Universe for the comic section in the message board section, which I browse around a lot of times on there, and I read the comics on there all the time, stuff like that. So we're keeping that. And he also didn't say anything about like the other program that's on it right now. Like, for instance, we got Batman the Animated Series. Like he said, the original program is leaving, but he didn't say anything about that. So is that going anywhere? Is that staying on DC Universe? We don't know. I'm all fine with a revamping. Honestly, if the other shows go and Swamp Thing or stuff goes to HBO Max, I'm fine with that. Just let me keep the comics. That's the only thing I was caring about anyway. I know nobody else gives a shit about reading them, but I care. You know.
I was reading them. Shit.
Oh yeah, you was reading them too. And people saying like they should do a price, you know, a reduction on DC Universe. Like why? Why should you do a price reduction? Okay, I did the research, Eli, and I looked at Marvel Universe. Marvel Universe, which just offers comics and nothing else, is $10 a month.
Yeah, I remember I was doing the yearly for
right.
I think it was like $7.99 if you did the yearly or whatever.
Right, if you do the yearly, right. Yeah. But with DC Universe, it's $7.99 yearly, and it's even cheaper if you do it's $7.99 a month, and it's even cheaper than that if you do the yearly version. So technically, DC Universe is already cheaper than Marvel Universe and offers more content and has a bigger comic catalog than Marvel Universe already, even though it just started like a year ago. And people are still bitching. Like, why? Why are you bitching? Like, you can just give me comics and Batman animated series.
Because they're comic nerds. What else are they going to do?
They got to bitch about stuff. They got to complain about stuff. Like, what are you complaining about? First off, they keep comparing DC Universe like Netflix and HBO Max when it was never, ever, ever supposed to be designed to be that. It wasn't trying to compete with DC, Disney Plus. It wasn't trying to be Disney Plus. It was basically trying to cater to the comics fans, and anything else that was extra on it was just ice on the cake. That's what it was. But nah, they want to take shit too far, and that's where we are right now. And another thing about DC, I'm sick and tired of them of parading Jim Lee in front of us every time they need to shut us up. Show another picture up. That's a cool ass picture. Because they know we love Jim Lee. Jim Lee is our hero. He draws a mean Psylocke. Matter of fact, let me see that.
Who's under Marvel?
Who's on the Marvel, but still, we still remember that it's deep in our hearts. We still remember that Marvel swimsuit issue, with Psylocke popping out the water, shit like that. And the thing is, they always do that. They always get Jim Lee to put out their fires because they know we're not going to get mad at Jim Lee.
Hey, he drew a mean Catwoman too, man. Don't forget.
He did. I give him that. But here's the thing. A lot of this shit that's being fucked up right now is because of Jim Lee. People pissed off at the new 52. A lot of that shit was because of him. Look at that shit. That's his design. But you can't say that. You can't say that. We love Jim Lee too much. Jim Lee has a diplomatic immunity or some shit. Just so I don't know. Let's go to the video game section. I'm gonna just kind of just breeze through them. We're just gonna go for it. Quick thing we got going on. Well, let's talk about some Halo real quick. Halo is being delayed till 2021. Now
that was the one that's supposed to come out on the new system.
Yeah, that's supposed to come out on the new system, and it's gonna be delayed to 2021. So my thing, Eli, is like, why even bring out an Xbox? Like, just push that shit back too. There's no reason to get it. There's no games that's on. The only game people even looking for was Halo. And honestly, I don't even know why people looking at Halo, because they showed that shit at E3. Like, it look like shit.
It's Halo. Yeah,
and that's the problem. And that is the problem. You know what? I'm gonna come back to this because we're running out of time. But I'm gonna say some shit about Halo. But we're gonna do it for another show.
That's another rant.
That's another rant because I don't want to get on a tangent right now. But I will save that tangent for another time, especially when I collect my thoughts a bit more. Now, something you want to talk about, Eli? Olivia Munn. Not Halo. Not Halo. You do, yeah. Olivia Munn. We're gonna talk about Olivia Munn for a second. Boom. We're gonna talk about Olivia Munn because we all love Olivia Munn. Like I said,
I guess sure.
She's Psylocke.
She was all right.
I mean, she's no Jessica Chobot. But we still
Morgan
love her.
Webb. I was gonna campaign for Morgan Webb.
Right. Now, why are we talking about Olivia Munn? We're talking about Olivia Munn in the video game sections because she's in talks to come back with what's that, G4 TV or some shit.
Yeah.
And like I said, we love Olivia Munn, but why? Why is she coming back to this shit? Because here's the thing. The reason G4 TV failed to begin with is because the people that they market to don't watch TV. The people that play video games watch this shit on the internet. That's what they do. They look at social media. That's where they get all their news from. So while G4 TV is making a review about some video game that came out 3-4 months ago, fucking IGN already got the shit up, the day the game came out. So why is she going to this shit that failed to begin with because nobody watched TV? And now she's 10 years later. Nobody really watches TV. It's a waste of time.
Why did G4? I mean, I watched Attack of the Show. They were doing shit that everybody's doing now.
I guess
Attack of the Show and was it X Play was more. I watched X Play. And they were reviewing video games before the internet was.
Adam Sessler, right?
Yeah, Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Here's my thing. I didn't watch G4 TV, but I did watch Adam Sessler when he got a YouTube channel. Okay. Which when G4 TV fell apart. Yeah. And then I watched it and I was like, okay, he knows his shit. I like Adam Sessler. That's what they need to bring back. Because Olivia Munn doesn't know anything about this shit.
No, she don't. She was just hot. Remember when
she was just hot.
When she said Mick Hammer?
Yeah. I mean, like I say, she only got into this shit because it was her way to get into Hollywood. Yeah. That's what she really wanted to do.
And now she's not a movie. Now she didn't become the movie star she thought she was. And
that last Predator movie would do it,
And now she's coming back to back home, so to speak. And I'm like, where the fuck is Morgan Webb? Bring her back. I don't give a shit.
Well, let me say, because like I said, I didn't watch that show you were talking about, X Play. Does Morgan Webb know what the fuck she talking about? Like, does she know video games?
She was like a competitive gamer and shit. Yeah, she was into video games.
That's my thing. If you're gonna talk about video game, talk about video game. Don't just be hot and just be there and then just go to a movie when it's time. No, if you're gonna sit there and I'm gonna look at you, I want you to know what the fuck you're talking about.
But I think G4 went under because of higher up shit. Because then didn't the channel get bought by like Spike TV and they just didn't know what to do.
Oh yeah, Spike TV, and then they just completely ran that shit into the ground.
And then now they're Paramount, and now they just got rid of everybody. But there's a documentary coming out that I want to watch that that talks about all this. But G4 was basically doing what we're doing right now, talking about nerdy shit, comic books, video games, movies only back then.
Right.
You know, before Kevin Smith had his podcast and Comic Book Man and
Right.
and
The shit we're doing, you can throw a
IGN,
rock and find somebody doing the shit we're
before
doing.
Nerdist and Geek Tyrant and all these motherfuckers and Outright Geekery.
Before comic book bullies, you know.
Before Comic Book Illuminati.
Right.
Or Incorporated, wherever the fuck they keep changing their name to.
It'll be something next week, yeah, before they get sued, you know.
You know, before all that shit, G4 was doing it. And that's why I watched it, you know, because they were talking about shit I was into, you know.
Right. And on
then,
TV, nobody else was doing that. You know?
Yeah, and no one. That's why it was just like this nerdy show. I mean, they were interviewing the people from Community, you know.
Oh,
they
yeah,
had Allison Brie and Joe McHale and Abed and all those. They were campaigning for Community when they were always getting threatened to cancel that show. And so yeah, I mean, I was into that. It's just, towards the end. And I think once Olivia Munn left, that was pretty much the start of the end, you know, even though she said she was always,
even though, because a lot of people did watch for Olivia Munn, even though she don't know what the fuck she's talking about. Yeah. She's Olivia Munn.
Yeah. So. They at G4 was doing the 24-hour or the you know, the live streaming from Comic-Con before Sci-Fi Channel did it and before everybody else did it. You know what I mean? They were doing it, you know. Speaking of comic books, Empire 5. Yeah. Fuck Olivia Munn. Bring back Morgan Webb.
We're gonna get to it, Gabe. Matter of fact, let's wrap this shit. You know what? I was gonna talk about something else, but I'm not gonna talk about it. We're just gonna jump into it, Eli. Before we lose any more viewers, what we got now. So, like I said, this is Comic Book Bullies, where we talk about comic books, and I guess we're gonna talk about the comic books going on right now. Now, before we get into Empire 5, should we do what do you want to do first, Eli?
I don't care.
Did you read Death Metal?
Yeah, I did.
Cool. Let's do Death Metal.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to talk about Death Metal number 3. Let's just jump into this bad boy. And basically what happened is, okay, so the last issue is that Wonder Woman got this crazy ass plan where she's going to talk about they're going to go to Apocalypse and they're going to free, because all of the superheroes are on Apocalypse. They got to get them loose. So that's they're going. So they go to Apocalypse. They get them loose. They crash their Batman composite Superman ship. And I got to show you this, Eli. This is some weird shit. Did they make a Batman Silver Surfer?
Who the fuck is that? I was wondering who that was.
I don't know who that is. It's like a Batman Silver Surfer.
Yeah, but I don't think it is.
Anyway, he dies. Because what happened was after they find the Batman Silver Surfer, then Jonah Hex actually blows himself up, kills them. And then that's when you got Wonder Woman, Batman, and somebody else, Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is riding on a giant, what is that thing? Hyena? Yeah. And Batman actually has a bat bike. And when I mean bat bike, like a bat shaped like a bike.
That is pretty fucking cool.
That is pretty cool. And I can't fucking find the picture because that's the shit that's cool as fuck. Show it. Where is it? For some reason, Comixology won't let me load it up. But yeah, that's fucking cool as fuck. It's got like a bat horns and shit or whatever the fuck that thing is. Okay, and then why are they on Apocalypse? Because they're going to rescue all the superheroes, and first thing they decide to do is rescue Superman. Superman is basically being embedded by the anti-life equation. Oh, and this Apocalypse is being controlled by a Batman Darkseid.
Yeah, bat side or something.
The Dark Father, what they call him, but it's a weird name. But is it me, Eli? Does he look like the Dark Knight Returns Frank Miller version? He does like that. I was like, okay, I thought that was just me. Okay, it does like him.
Or Apocalypse from the X-Men.
Oh, they're probably all together and shit like that. Yeah. So basically, he's brainwashed, trying to put the anti-life equation in him. He's like numb the whole left side of Superman's body because it's being infected by the anti-life equation. Before you get there, that's when you get boom, Wonder Woman with a fucking chainsaw. You know,
there it is.
Yep. And you got Swamp Thing floating like a bug or some shit like that. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And Harley Quinn is riding her hyena. And anyway, they get ready to fight Darkseid. Oh, and Darkseid has his own parademons, but they're not parademons. They're Robins, so they're called Para-Robins.
Para-Robins, yes.
Para-Robins. Hey, it's catchy. I say go with it, you know. So anyway, Batman Darkseid sends the Para-Robins after them. They fuck them all up and shit like that. Batman is able to get to Superman, and Superman basically Mr. Miracle is there because Mr. Miracle is the one to set the trap. He's basically telling me if you free Superman right now, the anti-life equation, I know, I'm going to try to get to it as fast as possible. Anti-life equation will infect Superman and he'll be evil, like in every dark Superman story ever. They basically try to turn him into that. So Batman's like, shut up, I got a plan. So when he gets the plan, that's when Darkseid Batman, okay, remember in Final Crisis?
No, but go ahead.
What? Okay. Anyway,
I'm a Marvel guy, man. I don't know this shit, man.
Fuck, man. That's what I'm saying. Because they go deep into this shit, like shit that's supposed to have been retconned out. They go back into it. But anyway, Darkseid Batman pulls out a gun, and it's a reference to Final Crisis when Batman pulls a gun on Darkseid, and Darkseid shoots Batman with the Omega Beam that sends him back in time and shit like that. But he's like this, nah, this time it's not going to send you back in time. It's going to erase you completely from existence, and you get Batman out of there. And all he does is just sit on the ground. So he's actually not even dead.
Crack-a-coom.
Right. Some weird shit like that. And what happens is that he frees Superman. He frees Superman because since he has that Black Lantern ring, the left side of Superman's body is dead, so he can control that side to make it stop becoming filled with the anti-life. So Superman's free, even though half of his side is like zombified and shit like that. And Wonder Woman is asking Batman, how the fuck did you live that? Oh, I got a bat blocker on my belt. That's how I survived.
He looks like Conan there.
He looks like you. Let's show this picture again. I keep saying he looks like you. This is Eli Superman.
My hair ain't that long, though.
This is the ideal Eli Superman right here.
My hair ain't that long.
Oh man! So basically, we're going right now, but even though he says he got a bat blocker, Superman's just like, "Are you gonna tell her the truth?" And Batman looks at Superman like, "Are you gonna tell the truth about you?" Like, no. Okay, so it's a secret going on with those two that we don't know yet, but we'll find out later on. But anyway, they go down there, they find all the superheroes, they free them, and Wonder Woman's like, "I'm here to free the most powerful superhero we have." We're like, Superman? No, more powerful than him. Like, who? And it turns out it is Jarro. Now, if you know who Jarro is, I'm not going to explain. The book doesn't even explain. Basically, he's a starfish that has magic psychic powers.
Not Starro.
Not Starro, Jarro. Or Starro Jr., how you want to call it. And he sees Batman, and he's like, Dad? So, yes, Batman has a surrogate starfish son.
Oh, I was going to say Batman fucked a starfish.
And the crazy thing is, like, and here's the thing, they lampshaded because Jonah Hex shows up and like, why the fuck is Batman hugging a starfish? And down at the bottom you see, read Justice League, or even better, make up your own story. So you just leave it at that. Other shit happens, so the Batman who laughs has turned into some kind of dark evil Flash, and he's chasing after other Flashes, and he's gonna catch them. And Lobo is going around hunting other shit, and we think Lobo is doing work for the good guys, but he's not. He's doing work for Lex Luthor, the Legion of Doom, and he's hunting the boxes that they call the death metals. For what reason? Find out next book. Yeah, so that's it right now. So basically, overall, just more weird shit just popping up in here. I think it flowed better than it did before. It's still there. I just like weird shit happening in this book, so it's cool. It's whatever. It's a fine for me. I'm gonna still give it.
The Superman part was cool, but I'm still like, no, go ahead, finish your review, and then I'm
trying.
I'll proceed to pits all over.
No, I'm saying I'm trying, Eli. I'm trying. I'm giving it a chance. That's why I'm gonna say I'm gonna give it a 3.55 because I'm like I'm there. It's enough weird shit to keep me there, but at the same time, it's just like, okay,
yeah. That's the thing. That's what these books are. They're just a bunch of weird shit in the background that you want to see, but you don't. Right. That's my thing. It's like, because like Swamp Thing has the little ball where it looked like the Big Trouble in Little China when the ball with all the eyes on it. That's what that reminded me of. And then when I saw Wonder Woman's Chainsaw of Truth, I'm like, oh, sweet. And then she don't do nothing with it.
You're right. She just shows it and that's it,
And then when you get to the end and then it shows the big list of books that are coming out.
I'm not reading all this shit. No.
This shit is gonna last till January. And
they're gonna milk this shit. They're gonna
and
milk
I'm
this
like,
shit.
fuck, man. I gotta wait till January. I gotta read this shit till January, till next year.
Like I said, I'm not reading any of those fucking crossovers and tie-overs and shit like that. I'm just reading the main books and done, and that's it. Let's go through callers. Yeah.
Yeah, because like doom metal, death metal, speed metal. Yeah, all this.
You know what? That may be it. That may be it. That's why he has the Batman dead ring or whatever like that. But that'll be a thing we have later on.
Oh, he's dead. Oh.
I mean, that was the only reason to explain why Darkseid Batman couldn't kill him. He couldn't kill him if he's already dead. So
there you go.
So, yeah, there you go.
That he's zombie Batman and shit.
Even though he doesn't look like a zombie, because everybody else like a zombie, he's just like regular Batman. But
It's Bruce. He probably had some anti-zombie medicine in his fucking utility belt.
just pulled it out.
Oh shit, I'm dead.
Slap a score order, we would go from there.
3 out of 5.
Okay. I kind of felt like he was swinging that way. So
the art, hey, Capullo
was killing it.
Capullo's got.
I'm saying, if you're gonna do this weird shit, let Capullo go nuts with the weird shit. Don't you be dead willing of Black Lantern? No, because Black Hand. Oh, I think that guy's name. He wasn't dead. And you guys
are going way too deep.
Okay, never mind. We'll talk off show, offline. All right. What book you got next? I'll let you go next.
Well, since we're doing DC, the only DC other book I read was Detective Comics 1025.
Boom! I got you.
So this is a Joker War tie-in, and it's basically Batwoman beating up a bunch of Joker goons while the Joker War is going on. She teams up with Bullock. There's a big fight in the graveyard. They're fighting fucking Joker zombies and Joker goons and shit. Pretty cool. But then Batman shows up.
Is he not supposed to show up?
Well, I thought, when the fuck did he show? When did he have time to show up to do this?
That's right. Yeah.
Because he's like all fucked up, and he was like captured, and he
slept for 3 days.
He slept for 3 days. Like, when the fuck did he have time to show up and help Batwoman with a fucking bat tank and help her fight all these guys?
Where did he get a tank from? I thought Joker took all this shit.
Yeah, that's what. So I don't know, like, what, usually I don't give a shit about continuity, but this is supposed to be a tie-in to the other stories.
Right. Like, you think they would try a little better,
Where the fuck did Batman come from? He was doing all this other fighting, Deathstroke and all that other shit. Like, where did he have time to do this?
Right. Like hold on, let me just do this one quick thing, and then he goes over there. On my way to the Monarch Theater. Let me go grab a tank real quick. Shit.
Yeah. So that was like what the fuck? They couldn't have Jason or Orphan or any of the other Bat family help her out. It had to be Batman, why did she need help at all? She couldn't just do this herself,
True.
So that was my thing. It's a lot. It's nothing but action. It's pretty cool, but like I said, where the fuck did Batman come from?
Right. So, that's the thing, because you throw continuity off when you put Batman in this shit. Now,
yeah. So
I don't know. It's
a 3.
Should have just been Batwoman. Just let it go from there.
Yeah.
So.
He didn't need to be in here.
That's why you letting me know I should just stick with the main Batman story and not all this Nightwing shit. Just stick with the Batman story.
It's detective. I'm always.
I still say they should have called the book Joker Billions. That would have made it so more. It makes more sense.
And then they could have had the variant cover was like the Richard Pryor and John Kane, like Brewster's.
Right. Right. That's the thing. Now, see, I didn't know. Like, me and Gomer was arguing about this shit. Like, did Bruce's Million inspire the shit? But actually, there was a story in the 50s called Joker's Millions that was inspired by another book called Bruce's Millions, which was inspired by Richard Pryor. Mm-hmm. So it's all connected. So Joker, Richard Pryor, whatever. So yeah. Moving past that, let's see. Let's go to, what are we on? Empyre number 4 or 5?
5, I think, right?
Is it 5? Shit, I fucked up. Is it 5? This shit is flying by.
It is 5. It's coming out. They're coming out like every week. Damn.
Yeah, they're plowing through this shit. So let's go to it. Let's do Empyre number 5. Let's go right into it. So basically how the book is that, where are we? Let's get that thing. Boom. Okay, so the book starts out. The book left off with this cliffhanger. Okay, Gabe, we're doing it. We're doing it. So we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about it. So it left off with this cliffhanger. With it ended with Hulkling, and why they still call him Hulkling, I have no idea. But anyway, Hulkling and Wiccan have gotten married. That was a cliffhanger. So the book opens up with basically them talking about how they got married, and they basically saying like right before he became the emperor of the King and the Scroll Empire, he had an hour before he had to go. So they spent an hour doing what they had to do. 30 minutes of it, yeah, not yet, but it got there. So they spent 30 minutes of it having sex. And you know what, Eli? I'm gonna give Marvel some credit on this. I'm gonna give them some credit because they like to shy away from this shit, but this time they did it. It's boom, it's there. So you comics gators want to go after them because they got two dudes, you know, on the first page of the splash panel. Go for it. They're there, even though one's an alien, but still happening. You know. And basically tells them since after they had 30 minutes of hot passionate sex and shit like that, they were like, "Hey, you want to get married?" You're like, "Yeah, how?" But you know, because he's a teleporter, so they teleport to Vegas. You know. All of their Young Avengers friends and Champions friends, shit like that, they're all teleporters and all kind of shit like this. You know what, Eli? I'm gonna give them credit on this too. They actually showed them getting married and they showed them kissing. It was in the shadow, but it happened. So give Marvel the baby steps. You know, you got America back there, and I don't know who the fuck
all the woke characters.
Yeah, all the people, the ones that the comics gators hate, they're all there, you know. So basically, he becomes, you know, the king, emperor, whatever like that. He goes to spaceship like that. Meanwhile, all that is going on. We come back to Wakanda, and you know, like I said, She-Hulk is a zombie now, and she just stomping the mud hole and thing right now. She's like, give up, and things just like, I can't give up. I got too much riding on me. I got kids, you know, to watch after, and nephews. You know what? I haven't heard that shit in forever. I got to show this panel because I haven't heard anybody say "put up your dukes" in forever. You know, and he also say he's the immortal thing. So
I'm the immortal thing. Yeah,
that's clever. I'm the immortal thing. Put up your dukes. So that was my favorite panel in this book right here, just because I never heard somebody say that shit before. Well, I have, but not in a while. And what do we got to it? Okay, so then you know what, Eli? I don't care when anybody say this is why I'm liking this storyline right here. Because we finally get to see Black Panther whoop ass. We ain't seen this shit.
Not Excalibur.
Excelsior.
Excelsior, yeah.
Yeah. He's just cutting through there. Because like I said, the plants keep coming back, and the only thing that can kill him is the space sword. So last issue, Black Panther asked Hulkling, can he get the space sword? He got a space sword, and Black Panther's just running through the air, just boom.
Yeah.
I'm hearing lightsaber, you know, sounds in my head.
We get like a few pages dedicated to Black Panther whooping ass.
And we hadn't seen this shit like fucking 3 years, you know, because Coach want to sit there and, you know, contemplate shit, yeah. you know, monologue and shit. Let me get some more of this shit, man. Give y'all some Black Panther action. Wakanda, you know.
Daka.
Right. So anyway, so basically what Black Panther trying to do, he's trying to make sure whatever happens, he do not want these plant creatures to get close to him. But no matter what happens, eventually they're going to get close to him. So they finally got able to plant one of those gateways they can do. So that's it. The whole thing he was trying to make sure they don't do, they did it. Yeah. They planted the gateway. So now they can send the whole army in there and just take over Vibranium just like that without even thinking. It's done. And so Black Panther's waiting for an army to go through, and all that happens is that boom, he gets stabbed by the swordsman. So Black Panther's dead. Done. That's it. Wakanda not forever. Okay. So he's dead, and while that's going on, Wiccan teleports onto the ship where all the Kree Skrull people else like that, because what happened is they replaced Hulkling with one of their own imposters. He found Hulkling, he was all chained up and shit like that. They freed him and like, let's go. So Carol is just like, oh, y'all fuck me. So I accuse you. You know, oh, you accuse me? Well, yeah. I enact Kree law that I can accuse my accuser with trial by combat. And
gets very Game of Thrones here. This is right out of Game of Thrones.
Right. And I'm trying to think what happens the rest of this page. Oh, yeah. Miss Fantastic gets a fantastic. Oh, that's what happened. Miss Fantastic gets a Iron Man suit that I think stretches. And basically what they tell them what the hell is going on. So what happens is that the Katati killed Black Panther, taking up Wakanda, plant the Death Seed, and in 10 minutes, the Death Seed will completely take over every single plant life on the planet Earth. So they're done.
With vibranium with vibranium. That they're
vibranium, right?
Yeah.
So if they get that, it's over. It's done.
So
That's it.
they'll have plants with vibranium,
right?
or
and
something.
they control, and they make them easy to control all the other plants in the galaxy.
Yeah.
But that's not the other shit, because while Carol is fighting these other Kree soldiers and they're trying to stop them from detonating the sun, he's saying he's already done it. He's already pushed the trigger button. So they're saying, but the ship they're on has like solar shields, whatever like that. So they're safe on the ship. But when it detonates, everything else is gonna be gone. So the sun is gonna explode in 9 minutes. The Cthulhu are gonna take over Wakanda in 10 minutes and control the world. So Reed and Tony are just like, well, we have basically 10 minutes or 9 minutes to save the world twice. Let's get to it.
Stop the sun from blowing up, and then stop the Cthulhu from taking over Wakanda. Yeah.
Right. So and they got
vibranium. Yeah.
Right. And they got like 9 to 10 minutes to do this shit, while they're stuck in Rhode Island, some shit. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Anyway, that's the book. Action pack, Eli. I liked it. Just give me what I want, man. Just give me what I want. I know we want our books to be, contemplative. We want like long prose. We want a deep narrative. Like, I just want to see ass being whooped. That's all.
Especially this was where it picked up. Yeah, this is the event. This is the blockbuster. This is finally, Thing beating the shit out, put up your dukes and all that shit. Yeah,
right.
Black Panther. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I've been enjoying this.
Right. Everybody else been shitting on it, but no, I've been enjoying. I mean, I'm enjoying it for what it is.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, I've been. I got into it.
Yeah,
I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Shit.
Same 4 out of 5. I mean, like I said, it's not the greatest book ever. Next year, we probably will forget this book ever existed. But as of right now, it's a fun storyline.
Yeah.
What else you got? What else you got for me?
I got the Empyre, the Captain America Empyre tie-in number 2.
Okay, because I am not touching any of these crossovers. I mean, these tie-ins.
Well, this is where all the action is happening.
So you mean that's what I should be reading?
Yeah, if you want all this shit. So basically, Captain America went to DC to help out the military that's overrun by the Cthulhu. He basically backed him up, got them to put up a front so they can defend themselves, but he needed like a battalion to take to South America because that's where the Cthulhu are fighting. And the Cthulhu is raised this giant mountain monster that's about to stomp over Mexico City. So he needs to get down there. But then the Kree, a bunch of Kree soldiers come down to DC and start fucking up all the Cthulhu. But they don't give a shit. They're destroying buildings. They're killing people. They're just indiscriminately killing everybody just to kill the Cthulhu. And Captain America's like, hey, motherfuckers, you can't just go around killing everybody, because this is our planet. And they're like, we don't care. We're trying to, the Cthulhu is about to take over the universe. A few dead humans don't matter to us, but we got to, we got to get down to fucking Mexico because there's a big giant mountain monster about to destroy the place. So they're about to go. But meanwhile, one of the snipers on the battalion last issue got infected with the Cthulhu. And then he infected the general. And so the general goes to like the UN to ask for like military aid. And then basically swamp things out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He turns into like the Cthulhu. He's about to, here you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's Man-Thing on this shit? Is he here?
And he basically attacks the UN. But then Captain America shows up and fights them and basically says, okay, the Cthulhu are taking over. And he goes to the Kree. Hey, why don't you back us up? I'm taking a bunch of dudes down to Mexico City to fight this big giant mountain monster. And the Kree's like, okay, we'll back you up. So it's Captain America, a bunch of army dudes, and the Kree. They're gonna go down. They're gonna go down and fight this big giant monster. So more action. This was fun. I give it a 4 out of 5.
I mean, this is Captain America's wheelhouse. War.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
Let's go to the callers. Let's see what we got. Mountain Man. Who's Mountain Man? I don't know.
I think they called them Man of Earth. I think that's what the Katati are
But
called.
that's a cool
they-
ass name.
Yeah, they basically use their seeds or whatever and blew it into the forest down in South America, and it blew into this mountain, and then the mountain came to life, and it's just this
Fuck.
big giant mountain monster that's stomping across the continent and shit. And I think they call them Man of Earth.
Okay, cool. Sounds pretty interesting. What have we got? Oh, I forgot Man. Yeah, I think Man Thing is in one of these fucking tie-ins, but I don't have time to look through all this shit and find out which one he's in.
Wasn't he in the champ? Was he in Champions or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
He
Fuck it.
popped up in a book I read like a year ago or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, but I think he's in one of these crossover tie-ins or so. Like it might have been an X-Men or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's in something.
Yeah.
And so I accidentally bought the X-Men crossover by accident. Because I meant to buy something else and I read this shit. I don't know what the fuck happened. All I know is that it's like a bunch of zombie multiple men's in there eating each other.
Okay.
So, and the magic turns to the Goblin Queen. But
Okay.
I don't know.
That sounds
That's all I
kind of
know.
cool.
But I don't know what context this shit was in. I just like, what the fuck?
Well,
Okay.
whoa. I don't know. All I know is Gomer loves it. I would suspect that the Katati would take over those flowers, right?
That's what they're going for. Yeah. I mean, that's what they're going for. They're going for the Krakoa flowers. And remember those golden girls I was telling you about like earlier? They're in that X-Men crossover too, helping them.
Okay.
So whatever the fuck. Because they know more about the Krakoa flowers than the X-Men do. So whatever. Weird shit. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not gonna talk about this shit. Anyway, let's talk about X-Force number whatever the fuck this is. Now I want to show you this pic 11. That's what it is. I want to show you this. It's Colossus versus Omega Red.
That's pretty cool.
It does not happen in this book.
Of course not.
Right. He does not even show up in this book at all, not even a little bit. So basically what the book is about is that you got they're doing an autopsy. You got like Cecilia Reyes, you got Sage, you got Beast, and the Russians are like the main enemies of the Krakoans right now. And apparently the Russians they found some dead bodies of the Russians and they get them. And what they do is, damn it, could have got a few. It won't fuck up. Anyway, what they do is that they actually bury little bodies inside of their bodies and they attack them. Boom. Cecile Reyes, dead. She'll be back. No big deal. They don't even get pissed they get dead anymore. Beast like, oh, fuck. Damn. Oh, well. So that's what happened. Every time they kill one of these little bitty things, they resurrect into another little bitty thing. So apparently the Russians had figured out how to resurrect also. Just not the way that the X-Men do. So anyway, these little Russians just go crazy and just start killing everybody and just running roughshod and just start slicing up shit. Meanwhile, Colossus is on the Savage Land. He don't want nothing to do with the X-Men. He wants to be as far away from all this shit as much as possible. So he's there with a bunch of multiple men, and the multiple men start running back to the Krakoan gate because these little Russian, clone blocks of dolls were like that fucking everything up. And they're hacking into the system. They're finding like where Professor X is on the map. They're basically coming there to assassinate Professor X again, So when Colossus finds out what's going on, he's like, what the fuck? So he sees the multiple men going through there. But when they go through there, they're all getting shot up and shit. So he's like, oh shit, let me steal up, see what's going on. So when he walks through the portal, he sees the X-Men getting an all-out war with these Russians. Then it just start fucking up shit and stuff like that. So Colossus, does his thing, starts smashing shit, beating up shit and stuff like that. And the X-Force is just like, Colossus, we're glad you're back, man. Thank you for coming back. They're like, nah, don't thank me. And then leaves. Because he's like, I don't want shit to do with you X-Men shit. Let me go back to Savage Land. Let me just go back to, farming. Because you X-Men, every time I fool with you, you all in some crazy shit. So I'm going to just get in here and I'm going to just leave. Fuck all y'all. So, yeah, don't thank me. So we don't see Colossus again anymore. Meanwhile, this happened like back in like issue 2, issue 3 or some shit like that. When they assassinated Professor X the first time, Magneto turned the broken Cerebro helmet into a sword. So the thing is, these Russian doll bots were like that, steal the sword. They kill Quentin Quire, because why not? Fuck him. Kick him into a place, and then it's this dude with a cape that takes the Cerebro sword, was looking for the whole time. Who this guy is, I have no idea. I want to say Strife. Gabe, who is he? I know you know. Let's see. What do we got?
X-Force, the Russian horror story.
Basically, the Russians are coming. So I want to say this guy is Strife. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. We'll find out later on. But anyway, he has the Cerebro sword. Now, I didn't think Cerebro sword had powers because, like I said, when they assassinated Professor X and shot him in the head, the helmet didn't do anything. But apparently, this guy thinks it's going to do something. Or maybe it's one of those X of Sword things that Gomer is so excited about. I don't know. So anyway, 3.5 out of 5. It was something to read. Nothing else to read. I bought one of these books by accident. Either I bought the X-Men crossover Empyre book by accident or I bought X-Force one by accident. I can't remember. Anyway, it's a thing. Yeah. What else you got, Eli?
What else do I got? I got Darth Vader. Oh,
Okay.
Immortal Hulk.
I was waiting for you to do it. I'm like, dang, it's like right there.
Yeah, Immortal Hulk. Fuck, I read this the other day. What happened? Basically, so.
Oh, good. I told you Gabe knew.
Colossus's brother.
Colossus' brother. Okay, that's cool.
Um,
Or he just made this shit up just fucking with us. I don't know.
Well, maybe he'll know who the fuck this is too at the end. So Immortal Hulk, Hulk beat Roxxon and Zemu and all that shit. So he's like a hero to the world. And he was on last issue. He was doing a press conference in that one town in Iowa that got destroyed by Tony Stark because he dropped a Hulkbuster bomb on the town to try to destroy him. Destroyed the whole town, but didn't destroy the Hulk. So Hulk's back there doing PR work, helping rebuild. The leader has possessed Rick Jones's body. Mm-hmm. And made Hulk explode last issue. But then Rick Jones jumped in front of it and absorbed most of the blast. But so he didn't really kill anybody, but it basically makes the Hulk look bad again. So Hulk's like, Hulk didn't mean to do that. Hulk, I don't know, Hulk not mean that. Hulk try not hurt people, all that shit. Mm-hmm. But then Gamma Flight shows up, or no, what are they called? Yeah, Gamma Flight. Alpha Flight, but now they're called Gamma Flight now because they're Hulk Busters or whatever.
That's some new shit. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been going on a while. But yeah, Puck and Titana and all that shit. Absorber Man. The rest of the issue is just a big fight. They're all attacking the Hulk, fighting the Hulk. Absorber Man figures out how to pull out Gamma, and then at the end, some monster shows up, the thing in the tube. I think so. They've been digging up graves. Is that what they've been doing? They've been digging up graves to people that had Gamma, and they had them in the tubes. And then one of the tubes starts getting all mutated and shit. And I didn't really know
shit that Donny Cates did with the Venom shit. Digging up people that had Venom or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. I just rip up whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, some monster. I feel like I should know who this is, but I don't. So, yeah. Other than that, it's a 3.3 out of 5 because it was just action, but I didn't know who this was at the end. So I don't know. But here's like the last panel. Like he's all.
Is that Zax?
No, I don't know who that is.
The Beast.
He's in the tube. I don't know. Maybe I should read it again.
Okay.
So
I'll check Twitter. As Twitter will say.
Yeah, I should have took notes, but I read this like the day, like Wednesday, so that's why I don't remember much. So sorry.
Now, when is this run wrap?
I'm not sure. I know. I'm not sure. I think I know it's coming to an end soon.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it might end around one time Empire ends.
Maybe.
I think so.
Yeah. Igor, the creature from the six. I don't know. It could. I don't know. I really don't know who it is.
I've never heard of it. Igor. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe it looked like Zax. That's what it looked like, but it might not be. But.
It was in a tube. They have these bodies in these tubes at the Gamma base. Like so.
Madman? Maybe Madman.
I don't know.
There was a guy called Madman, but anyway, this.
Yeah.
All right. Issue. Well, what else you got?
The Darth Vader number 3.
All right. Okay.
You're done?
Yeah, I just read 3. That's it.
Oh.
Actually, I did 4 because I did that X-Men whatever Golden Girls bullshit.
Oh, well, good. You want to do
No, I already did.
Oh. Darth Vader, number 4, the monster comes and attacks, and they fight it, and Darth Vader wins, and he at the end he goes to Padme's grave.
Okay.
And he opens it, and in between that, it's a bunch of flashbacks of him remembering Padme. Like I said, there's really no point to this book other than watching Vader kick ass. You know, it was all right, 3 out of 5. You know, I don't care about the story really that much anymore. You know, he's basically going around trying to find out why Luke wouldn't turn to the dark side, why Luke is such a pussy and a bitch, and now so he's going around the galaxy trying to find out all the people that turned him into a bitch, and that's the premise. That's what Vader's doing. And he ends up on Naboo, and now he's at Padme's grave.
Okay.
3 out of 5. Yeah.
Cool. And
last book I did was Something is Killing the Children.
Okay. Well, let's see what Gabe talking about. Let's see.
It ends at 50. Okay.
Ends at 50. Yeah.
So about
they got to wait. Yeah, they got to wait a while ago.
Got about another year, a little over a year. So.
Yeah. Okay. So no time soon.
No, yeah, I think Hayden was in this. Hayden Christian was in because there's a bunch of flashbacks. As he's walking through Naboo, he's remembering this. He's remembering the time he gave her the necklace, and he's remembering the time he banged her in the room, and you know, and
who wouldn't forget that?
Yeah. so yeah, it's just Vader walking through the planet, getting into different fights, and then I remember the time me and Padme did this. And, yeah. So last one I did was Something is Killing the Children, number 9, James Tinian, his horror story about these monsters that are killing kids in this town. There's this monster hunter named Erica who shows up and knows how to fight these things. And there's also this organization she works for called the House of Slaughter. This one was really cool because it goes into her history. We actually get a bit of her origin, that her parents were killed by these monsters, and she was actually able to kill one. And another monster hunter found her. So this is when she was a child. So we basically get Erica's origin story from this, and just a bit of how the operation works. The one, what's his name, Tommy, the kid she saved earlier on in the story. He's like basically begging her to take her with him, and she's like, "No, I'm not. You're not coming along and becoming a monster slayer with me because the people I work for suck." You know, again, a little political allegory going on. I like this. This organization cares more about covering up the death of all these children than actually fighting the monsters that kill them.
Right.
So I thought that was really cool. So this is another 4 out of 5. It's a horror book. I'm digging it. You know, issue 9, and they still haven't lost me. So.
Okay.
And that's all I got.
That's 10 in. Okay. So, like I said, we flew through all the books. We got another story wrapped up. Okay. So if anybody's been trying to look for us on like Spotify and Google Play, anything like that, we are back up on there. I will have a link on there. Every episode is back on there. Some of my even went there fixed. I individually put every single one back up there myself. So took me 2 weeks to do it. Yeah, it's done that. I'm tired. You know what? Going back and listen to it, it's fun listening to some like the growth for our podcast. But I will say this: when we got to the 2020 episode, Eli, that shit was depressing as hell. Like reliving all this shit over and over again, man. So yes, all this shit's back on there. This will be up on there tomorrow, so feel free to listen to it, download it, do whatever the hell you want to. We'll be back next week. Eli, I think DC Fandom will be next week, so that's gonna be a big chunk of the episode.
All right.
So just giving everybody a heads up. But until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bully time, same bully channel.